Yes, hello, good evening, everyone. Myself, Mrinalini Sonavne, and it is an absolute pleasure to welcome you all for today's exciting webinar that is Artificial Intelligence in Education, which is powered by Mylene. As we enter this new age of technological advancements, artificial intelligence is rapidly reshaping various sectors, and education is at the forefront of this transformation. AI is making learning more personalized, efficient, and impactful, with the potential to revolutionize how we teach and learn. I would like to share some eye-opening insights. Study says that 68% people are now comfortable using AI in their daily lives. 31% Gen Z individuals are already using AI for everyday tasks. So, whether it's planning a trip or decorating their room, so they are using AI everywhere. So, this all shows how deeply AI is embedded in our daily lives, especially for the younger generation. There is one more fact. The study says that by 2030, India's edtech industry is set to grow around 30 billion US dollars, reflecting that the immense role of technology, particularly AI, will continue to play in shaping the future of education. Do you know Kerala's education sector has introduced India's first AI humanoid robot teacher? Can you guess the name? It's Iris. So here, the firm Makers Lab EduTech, in collaboration with Thiruvananthapuram's KTCT Higher Secondary School, has developed it. And the humanoid is a sari-clad teacher. So now, this brings us to an important question. Will AI replace teachers? While AI can help in many areas, it is meant to work alongside teachers, not to replace them. Teachers bring empathy, creativity, and human connection qualities which AI cannot replicate. The future is all about collaboration between AI and educators to deliver more effective and personalized learning experiences. To explore more about AI in education, today we are honored to have with us Mr. Sachin Kamath, the head of consumption analytics for the data and analytics practice at LTIMindtree. Sachin is an expert in driving a data first, AI first approach to help organizations create a vibrant data economy. With over 20 years of experience, he has helped numerous organizations transform their business through the power of data and analytics. We are excited to hear his insights on how AI is shaping not only businesses but also the education sector. Over to you, Mr. Sachin.
Thanks, Mrinalini.
Yes.
Uh, it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. And wow, I think you shared a lot of insights that even I was not aware of. So thanks for that. Let me share my screen so that you know we can get started. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So, folks, thanks for joining. Thanks for taking time out from your busy schedules. And, I'm very glad that all of you are interested in something that's going to define the future. Uh, and uh, while we have seen a lot of technologies and lot of things come and go, as an industry and as a world population, we truly believe that AI is something that is going to completely reshape the world as we see it, right? uh, I'll talk in English. I'll talk in Hindi as much as possible and Marathi. But I'm happy. I might keep going back to English because that's how I converse mostly in my professional life. So feel free to ask questions, or हम लोग हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. And if there is anything in Marathi also, I'm okay. मराठी पण बोलू शकतो मी. But the intent of this session is to make keep it very very interactive. So let's talk. While I share my learnings, I'm happy to understand your side of the world, what inputs you bring to the table, and together we can learn from each other. So let's start, right? So what do you think when you hear AI? This is a question, so hopefully you know someone will answer.
Uh, you can answer in the chat box as well.
Okay, Mrinalini, you might have to read out because in the
Yes, yes,
PowerPoint
I'll
presentation
read.
mode,
Yes,
I'm not
I'll
able to
read.
see the chat.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
I'll read. So
I
anyone
hope
can answer.
everyone tuned in is listening. हम लोग जब एआई, अभी इतना सारा एआई एआई चल रहा है हर जगह पे. आई हैव सीन चाय स्टॉल्स आल्सो. किसी ने अदरक इलायची करके चाय स्टॉल खोला है. एआई, बट अब what does AI mean for each one of you?
Yes, Sachin. So I have got from Monali Miss Advanced Technology. She's saying Sneha Kulkarni. She's saying artificial intelligence. So anyone can unmute and answer as well.
AI stands for artificial intelligence. It is a new technology.
Okay. Any other answer? Okay. Let's.
Artificial intelligence based on the data which the we can say people provide, feedback type of thing. So
Good.
artificial intelligence basically collect all the data and then they interpret, and that is yes, that's much.
Good. Very good. Uh, yeah, AI stands for artificial intelligence. But what exactly, when people say artificial intelligence, what is this artificial about intelligence, or what exactly is artificial intelligence? All right answers. There's no wrong answer here. Uh, I'm sure you know. Don't feel
Yes, Sachin, I have we
hesitant.
have received one text. So Monali, she's saying making the things nearest to the real world, and Preeti Davade, ma'am, she's saying no feelings,
No.
no feelings. And
Okay.
Gauri Petkar, ma'am, she's saying empowering education for leaders. So these are the answers that we are getting.
Okay, wonderful. I think, like I said again, all right answers, sub answers correct hai, uh, and we will understand why. Right. So AI stands for artificial intelligence, as you rightly said. Now, someone said it's a new technology. Someone said it's powered by data. Someone said there's no feeling, so it's emotionless. Is what I feel they were getting at. Um and uh, these are all facets of AI, right? So AI is definitely powered by data. AI is not a new technology exactly, right? AI has been with us from the 1960s. Okay. uh, how many of you are maths teachers here on this call? I'm assuming that a lot of you are maths teachers. So you teach algebra, you teach statistics for
Yes.
to your kids, or at least you would when you studied you would have known about this. So AI is nothing but maths on data. very simply put. Okay, we keep talking. We'll discuss some of the industry terms and jargons, but very simply put, when you apply maths uh, to data, you enable AI. That's the crudest definition I can tell you, right? AI we refer to in the industry as an ability of a machine, right, to mimic uh, human beings. That's another definition. But so where are we? We are definitely in the age of AI, right? And I won't bore you with all the technicalities and the technical jargon, but it is important that you understand where we are, right? So the entire AI space is defined as artificial narrow intelligence. Okay, this is where we are mostly. Okay, then we are aiming to get to artificial general intelligence, which is called AGI, right? You must have heard the term the AGI again and again. And then the nirvana state is artificial super intelligence, right? Artificial super intelligence, or ASI. This is where, if you have watched movies like Terminator and all the other sci-fi movies, you would have seen that where machines have become very powerful, they have taken over the planet, सब वो लोग चला रहे हैं और हम लोग सिर्फ उनके slaves बन के बैठे हुए हैं. That is the doomsday scenario, but that's wherein machines become super intelligent, where they are more intelligent than the humans. Right now we are at a stage where we are still weak AI or artificial narrow intelligence, right, where AI can do only a specific set of tasks. जो बोला गया है वही कर सकता है. And like someone said, जो डेटा हम AI को देंगे, right, उसी डेटा पे काम कर सकता है. उससे ज्यादा नहीं, उससे कम नहीं. खुद की सोचने की ताकत नहीं है अभी तक एआई में. There have been some breakthroughs. Okay, very recently, if some of you have kept uh, track of what OpenAI has come up, OpenAI has said now we are able to give AI reasoning capabilities, and they have cracked AGI. But those are still very early days, right? अभी के लिए क्या है? अभी के लिए vision, text, speech, which is vision, speech, and hearing, is what AI been able to master to a certain extent. Okay, and as shown in this, everything that AI does is powered by data. Okay, बिना डेटा के कुछ भी नहीं है. So data is everything that we capture, right? What we are speaking is data for AI. What you are seeing on the screen is data for AI. हम लोग सेंसर्स की बात करते हैं, हम लोग ट्रांजैक्शंस की बात करते हैं. जो भी डेटा वहां पे है, हर उस डेटा पे अगर हम लोग मॉडल्स बिठाएं एंड एल्गोरिथम्स चलाएं, वी एनेबल एआई. ओके, सो अगेन, व्हाट इज एआई? Artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as language, right? बोलने का. You must have heard Siri, Alexa, Siri on the iPhones, Alexa on Amazon Echo, or other systems, right, where they are easily able to talk like a human being. This is nothing but a program reading a text and someone applying a human voice to it. किसी की भी आवाज लगा सकते हैं, मेरी आवाज, आपकी आवाज, and all of that. Recognizing images is again the same thing, right? It's vision. We call it computer vision, right? So if we show a picture uh, by running deep learning algorithms on top of it, AI is able to understand, and of course solving problems, right? We'll come to that. Now AI broadly is powered by, within it, sub areas called as machine learning. These are used interchangeably. So these are terms that you will hear. मशीन लर्निंग करके आपने सुना होगा. It is nothing but it allows computers to learn from the data without explicitly being programmed. अभी जनरली हम लोगों को कैसा होता है, हम लोग प्रोग्रामिंग करते हैं तो हर चीज को लिखते हैं कि डू दिस स्टेप 1, डू दिस स्टेप 2, then do step 3. If step 3 is not right, go to step 5. Typically normal programming वैसे होता है. It's a sequence of rules and sequence of instructions. AI में और या machine learning which we call unsupervised learning, उसमें क्या होता है, the program is written in such a way wherein depending on the data it is consuming, जो डेटा उसको मिलता है वो उससे ही अपनी सीखता है कि, और उससे सीख के इट डज बेटर जॉब ऑफ गिविंग द राइट इनपुट. डीप लर्निंग अगेन इज अनदर दिस थिंग वेयर यू नो आपने एक गेम बच्चों के साथ खेला होगा कभी कि 20 क्वेश्चंस और 10 क्वेश्चंस ऐसा के कोई एक फिल्म पर्सनालिटी को ऐसे बताते नहीं है बट कोई फिल्म पर्सनालिटी या स्पोर्ट्स स्टार का नाम दिमाग में रख के यू गिव द किड्स 20 questions, right? They have to keep asking questions. And the first question will be like, oh, is it dumb charades is something close to it, but they keep asking, they have 20 questions to get to the answer. So deep learning is something similar, right? The AI or the model keeps asking the right set of questions. Depending on the answer it gets, it keeps going through layers. एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद. But this is done in thousands and thousands, not of just the data inputs, but also the questions. It has the ability, and all of this happens in a matter of seconds, given the compute uh, ability today, right? So it all looks very seamless or ऐसे झट से आ गया, but ideally and in the background there are thousands of questions being asked to get to the right answer, right? So these are all industry terms, okay? Now let's get to how does AI work. Okay, somebody rightly said data is the foundation. If you don't have the right data, you won't have the right answer. AI कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएगा. सारा data हटा दो, there is nothing AI. It's just a program that will not be able to do anything. जो मैं प्रोग्राम बोल रहा हूँ, we call it algorithms, we call it models. It is,
मग काय पाहिजे तुला?
hello, it's just a set of instructions ना. एक मतलब आपने इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया हुआ है उस सिस्टम को कि भाई तुम ये डेटा पे अपनी अकल लगाओ और पता करो कि ये डेटा में क्या है, इससे मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. और यूजिंग दीज एल्गोरिदम्स, मॉडल्स और दिस थिंग प्रोग्राम्स, वी ट्रेन इट, राइट? तो बहुत सारा डेटा पे, इनफैक्ट फॉर जनरेटिव एआई एंड लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स, पूरा इंटरनेट पे जितना डेटा है ऑलमोस्ट उतना डेटा को लेके उस पर ट्रेन किया जाता है, राइट? और वो सारे डेटा से सीखता है एंड धीरे 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 करके उसका परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव होता है, राइट? एंड व्हाट हैपेंस आफ्टर दिस ट्रेनिंग, द होल गोल ऑफ एआई इज वंस ट्रेन, AI can make predictions, decisions that typically you as a human being would make, right? As a teacher, let's say in your mind, you have a class of 30 students, और आप ऐसे ही अंदाजे लगाते हो कि अरे ये 10 टॉप है, टॉपर्स में से है, ये 10 के ऊपर थोड़ा ज़्यादा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा क्योंकि ये मेहनत नहीं कर रहे हैं, राइट? नाउ of that, in your mind also, when you do this judgment, is driven by आपने उन बच्चों में क्या देखा है, कौन कितने टाइम पे स्कूल आता है, कितनी मेहनत करता है, होमवर्क कैसे करता है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. बट इंट्यूटिवली you take those decisions and pass those judgments. If I have to let AI do that, AI will require all the data points that are inbuilt into you, right? वो डेटा अगर मैं दूंगा और उस पर मैं algorithms चलाऊंगा तो AI will give the same inputs, but with a lot of data and a lot of processing, right? So simply put, bunch of algorithms or programs on top of data trained to understand that data and predict outcomes. That's how, in a nutshell, AI works. Any questions or uh, any queries so far before we move on to the next one? फंडामेंटली यही है. अगर आपको कुछ ज्यादा पता है तो आप बता सकते हो, या फिर आपको कुछ सवाल है तो आप पूछ सकते हो. फील फ्री टू डू दैट. हेलो, एनीथिंग इन द चैट मृणालिनी?
No, no, nothing. We can move
Okay,
forward.
either I bored people or they don't have any questions.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about some real, to make this even more real, right? आपने AI जो देखा है वो रियल लाइफ में आप कहाँ कहाँ देखते हो, right? And I want to make this interactive, so you will have to answer some questions.
Sir, when we use maps while traveling from one place to another, we generally use Google Maps.
Correct.
तो
Correct.
गूगल मैप्स पे हमें वही डेटाज मिलते हैं जो उस रोड से क्रॉस करने वाले सारे लोग प्रोवाइड करते हैं, और बेस्ड ऑन ऑल दोज डेटाज वो हमारा कंप्यूटर प्रोसेस करता, एआई प्रोसेस करता है और फिर वो हमें एक आउटपुट देता है.
Correct. Very nice. So मोटे मोटे तौर पे ना AI और मशीन लर्निंग 5 चीजें करते हैं. Okay, and broadly there are 5 types of algorithms or programs that power the whole thing, right? या ये A है या B है, सो क्लासिफायर, राइट? कोई भी चीज या कोई आप 10 चीजें दे दोगे तो इसको क्लासिफाई करना कि गुड और बैड, टॉपर और फेल, राइट? या यू नो इन hot or cold, any such thing, right? Where it's a binary thing, we call it classifier algorithms, right? Then there is anomaly detection. Is this weird? मतलब कुछ गड़बड़ है क्या? अगर गड़बड़ है तो क्यों है? It detects patterns and says बॉस कुछ गड़बड़ है यहाँ पे, right? तीसरा है कि कितना और, right? या कहाँ तक? These are predictor algorithms, right? Regression algorithms we call, and we'll talk about it how this thing. Fourth is clustering. कि भाई how is this organized, right? I mean, what is the pattern in this? कहाँ पे कौन सा ये करना चाहिए? And reinforcement learning is basically AI को through a human right or wrong सिखाना, right? Broadly मोटे मोटे तौर पे ये 5 होते हैं. And all of this, for the maths teachers on the calls, you would realize that this is mostly maths, this is mostly statistics. It is just one equation that powers, or some bunch of equations that power this, right? So let's come to the first one, classifier. कहाँ पे हमारे डेली लाइफ में कहाँ पे यूज होता है? तो एक मैम ने बोला कि सेकंड वाले में गूगल मैप्स, शी वाज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, राइट? anomaly detection algorithms is basically used in Google Maps. तो कहीं पे भी ट्रैफिक फ्लो का डिसरप्शन हुआ, बहुत सारा गाड़ी एक ही जगह पे अटका हुआ है या कुछ ऐसे हो गया, तो गूगल, द डेटा कमिंग इन विल tell the algorithm, hey boss, something is wrong. Generally this is very clear, but now today there is a lot of cluster happening here. So Google says, boss, this is red, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है यहाँ पे, right? Traffic is slowing down. वैसे ही आपके पास क्रेडिट कार्ड होगा तो वीजा या मास्टर कार्ड, दीज गाइज, आपके क्रेडिट कार्ड पे कभी कभार आपको एक फोन आता होगा सडनली, नॉर्मली नहीं आता है बट बीच में कभी आता है, एंड सम ऑपरेटर विल आस्क यू, मैम आपने ये यूज किया है क्या कार्ड? आपके कार्ड पे एक ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ है, आप ही का कार्ड है क्या? एंड देन यू हैव टू कंफर्म बैक, राइट? क्यों? क्योंकि सडन कुछ तो सिस्टम में एनोमली दिख गया. या तो आप पुणे में रहते हो जनरली और पुणे में ही स्वाइप करते हो, सडनली एक दिन आपने जाके मुंबई में स्वाइप किया और अमाउंट बढ़ा था, या फिर आपके ट्रांजैक्शंस नॉर्मली इतने अमाउंट में ही रहते हैं, आज सडनली बहुत बड़ा एक अमाउंट ही हो गया. कुछ भी रीजन हो सकता है, बट in the data that is flowing in the system, if there is an anomaly detected, automatically on runtime there is a trigger that is happening and it's saying yeah, यहाँ पे गूगल मैप्स बोलता है यहाँ पे कंजेशन है, वीजा बोलेगा कि आपका कार्ड कहीं पे गलत यूज हुआ है तो लेट्स वेरीफाई, राइट? वो दैट इज एनोमली. सो क्लासिफायर एल्गोरिदम्स, गुड एग्जांपल इज जीमेल, राइट? आपके जीमेल में एक स्पैम फोल्डर है, एक इनबॉक्स है, एक प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी ऐसे कुछ रहता है, करेक्ट? जीमेल को कैसे पता चलता है कि कौन सा प्राइमरी में डालना चाहिए, कौन सा स्पैम में डालना चाहिए, कौन सा प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी में डालना चाहिए? अगेन द सेम थिंग, इट्स अ बंच ऑफ एल्गोरिदम्स. आप जिस तरह से मेल्स पढ़ते हो, राइट, जीमेल उससे सीखता है और बोलता है कि हाँ, these look to be valid mails, these are of interest to person X. Okay, so let me put it in the primary or the secondary. Khan Academy करके education में it's a wonderful site. How many of you have accessed Khan Academy?
Yes, so we have received one text from Preeti ma'am. So even Kanchan ma'am is saying that they are using Khan Academy, this website for this.
Okay, great. And what is the, can someone come on audio and at least share feedback? What is their experience using Khan Academy as
Yes.
teachers?
Yes. Sunita ma'am, can you just unmute yourself and share your experiences? Or anyone, Preeti ma'am.
Yeah, anyone.
Yes.
Basically, they have a very interactive lectures on the concept which is related to maths. They just give it a very, they just present it in a very interactive way. So animations are really nice, and they have lots of question banks related to that, which are basically not related to rote learning. So actually, they checks for the concept.
Right. No, it's wonderful, and it's a not-for-profit organization started by a guy called as Salman Khan. Not our Salman Khan, but in the US. So Sal Khan has done an awesome job of building out this not-for-profit organization. If you haven't yet, आप लोगों में से किसी ने अगर खान एकेडमी की वीडियोस देखी नहीं है, you should. Till date, even I go to Khan Academy. I have tried to get my son hooked on to Khan Academy because that's the new this thing, right? AI powered content, very beautifully explained videos, and how does, and like ma'am was saying, right, in their the way they display this content, they use AI to understand and categorize the students that are going, and then the learning pace is adjusted for the students as per
So,
their strengths and
sir,
weaknesses.
as per my knowledge, what I feel, when a child can answer a simple question, the level of difficulty of the question increases, and it is decided by AI. AI could sense, or you can say AI could understand, yes, this child is capable of doing these type of sums, so let's increase the level of difficulty of questions.
Correct. And imagine that kind of hyper personalized or contextual learning for your children, right? For your children in your schools, for the children in at your home, it pushes them to the best of their abilities. And at the same time, if there are any challenges with their learning abilities, it just doesn't do one work one way, right? It just doesn't push the children to do more difficult and more cutting edge and all of that. It also adjusts the other way also. If a child is finding difficulty in learning, it then I wouldn't use it simplifies the next question and the next topic for the child. It gives fundamentally uh, simpler explanations, which makes it easy for the children to understand. And this is not just for children, right? Any of us, if we want to learn something in life, somebody is explaining, if you're not able to understand, that person has to be able to calibrate up or down, because if you're not able to understand, then they have to calibrate down. But if you are way ahead and you're finding it very rudimentary, or आपको लगता है कि क्या बता रहा है यार, ये सब मैं सुन के नया क्या है, So then the person has to be able to tell you something that you don't know, right? Only then the learning becomes interesting for any individual, right? Be it children or be it adults. So AI can help you do that, right? The third category again is Amazon. Most of you must have used Amazon. So how does Amazon decide के कौन से प्रोडक्ट कभी रखना है, कितना रखना है, क्रिसमस के टाइम पे क्या प्रोडक्ट्स रखना है, दिवाली के टाइम पे क्या प्रोडक्ट्स बिकेंगे, क्या दिखाना है एड्स में, all of that is discussed, I mean decided by regression algorithms, right? They just predict based on historical data कि अबे पिछले 5 क्रिसमस में अगर या पिछले 5 दिवालियों पे इतना सेल हुआ था बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एंड दैट, तो अभी इस दिवाली में आई कैन एक्सपेक्ट this kind of sale, right? Same thing with Ola, right? They use these algorithms to identify which are the areas where they should ask most of their drivers to be, because सवेरे के टाइम पे ऑफिस टाइम पे इस एरिया में बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड आएगा ओला का, बट दोपहर तक ये एरिया में सारे ऑफिस जा चुके होंगे तो यहाँ पे इतने ड्राइवर लगा कोई फायदा नहीं है, बट दूसरा एक एरिया है जहाँ पे डिमांड बढ़ेगा क्योंकि इट्स अ बिजनेस डिस्ट्रिक्ट और देर आर सीनियर सिटीजन्स हु स्टेप आउट और वट एवर इट इज, राइट, वट एवर इज द रीजन, बट ऑल ऑफ दिस इज डन ऑटोमेटिकली. जो हम over the period of years we used our brains with this thing. And remember, that is one other important thing to remember, okay? The entire AI machine learning is based on the way your brains work. हम लोग उसको न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स कहते हैं in the world of AI, but neural networks are nothing, are modeled or based on how the neurons in our brains work. We are trying to mimic the human brain in computers. That's how we are achieving AI. Clustering algorithms, again, Coursera, which is another website, right? Again, they use it for the same thing, right? कौन कौन से बच्चों के लिए क्या दिखाना चाहिए, up down. Netflix, if you go, it will show you some recommendations, right? Depending on what you have watched, it will show, oh, there are other movies like this. So all of this is AI, right? Duolingo, आपने अगर Duolingo किसी ने use किया है, Duolingo is another fascinating app or site. Anyone has used Duolingo? No? Yes? Anyone on chat?
Kanchan, she's saying that she uses it. Kanchan Thakur.
Okay, wonderful. मैम आप बता सकते हो आपने क्या किस चीज के लिए यूज किया था?
In order to improve English skills, actually.
Wonderful.
Because yes, they have good levels for English, and they present it in the form of games, so it is easy to have a practice.
Consume. Yeah, easy to consume, easy to understand. And also, if you have noticed, all those assignments for your getting your credits or whatever, they tweak it based on how comfortable you are, right? The next question becomes easier or tougher, or they sometimes ask you 3 types of the same question just to make sure that you're getting it right. Have you sensed that?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So again, this is another site for those of you. Duolingo is basically a site primarily for learning languages, right? It could be English, it could be Marathi. I don't know whether Marathi has been onboarded or not, but Spanish, French, they were going to come up with Indian languages as well. But it is a fascinating site if you want to learn a new language or you want to improve on an existing language. Okay, बहुत ही बढ़िया है. They just ask you one thing. They'll take you through the grammar of the language. They will take you through words. Then the words will become small sentences. The small sentences will become larger sentences. And this is all structured and adaptive to how you are using the app, right? Again, another example. So basically, it uses reinforcement learning because you do right or wrong. Depending on that, it tells the algorithm that नहीं भाई इनके लिए ये कर, right? Similarly, ISRO, for where there is uncertainty, we don't really know clearly, right, the trajectory in the space and all of that. Typically the algorithms learn based on right or wrong, right? Now these are a lot of examples in all of these varied things. What are the examples that come to your mind जब आप एजुकेशन के बारे में बात करते हो या फिर टीचिंग के बारे में?
I guess it is helpful for language teachers mostly. AI is very useful for language teachers.
Very true, very true.
It may be useful for sorting big data. For example, if we have a class report of various students where the marks are, and we have to know that how much means which concept they are lagging or something that. So by doing it rather than doing it manually by using AI, it may be simplified.
Correct, correct.
It could even be diagnostic to understand where the child, especially in maths, where the child, or even in science, which are the concepts the child has not understood. Maybe we
Perfect,
could take the help of AI.
perfect, perfect. Where else?
Even an evaluation, evaluation of papers, especially MCQs.
Right, right. But imagine, and Mrinalini said that earlier in the conversation, right? That कितना बढ़िया होगा कि आप लोगों के लिए अगर ऐसा एक सिस्टम है जो आपको सी अभी राइट नाउ आई अंडरस्टैंड मोस्ट ऑफ यू हैव अ क्लास ऑफ 30 kids, 40 kids. So there is limited time, right, for the kids to be in school also, and for you to be doing the work also. And most of the time there is a whole bunch of activities that you spend time on, which as a teacher really don't add value to either the student or yourselves. But it is the need of the profession, right? You cannot say that I won't do this because it is needed. अभी ये सारे एक्टिविटीज अगर आप एआई को आउटसोर्स कर सकते हो, और जो घंटे लगते हैं आपको मिनटों में या सेकंड्स में अगर ये सारे काम हो जाए, तो फिर आप वही टाइम बच्चों के साथ, बच्चों के लिए जो इम्पोर्टेंट है उसमें बिता सकते हो. Like one ma'am said now here, imagine there are 30 kids in your class and you know exactly अभी आप क्या करोगे अगर किसी को मतलब समझो 10 बच्चों को, एक तो आपको पता भी नहीं होगा कि 30 बच्चों में से कौन से बच्चे को क्या समझ में नहीं आया. Not for all 30, right? You might know for a few, one or two here. But then can you do customized learning? At this point in time, probably not, right? And it's very difficult to keep track of ये बच्चे को ये चीज समझ में नहीं आई, वो बच्चों को वो चीज समझ में नहीं आई, and having different sessions or different. But imagine if something tells you very clearly, right, based on the assessment or the exam, कि ये 10 बच्चों को ना ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में नहीं आया मैथ्स में या इंग्लिश में या हिंदी में, राइट, विच एवर द सब्जेक्ट इज. तो आप उन 10 बच्चों के लिए वो चीज वापस एक बार समझा सकते हो, वही कॉन्सेप्ट. यू डोंट हैव टू गो थ्रू द होल लेसन अगेन. और इफ यू अंडरस्टूड दैट यू नो व्हाट, सारे बच्चों को ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट जो आपने समझाया है वो थोड़ा टफ गया है, they are not really able to, then you can work on some way of solving it for them, making it easier for them. And even for doing that, you can use tools like Khan Academy, you can use tools like Chat GPT. Again, that's another wonderful tool. If you haven't used, how many of you use Chat GPT or Gemini or Meta का WhatsApp में जो LLM है? Do you use or do you not?
Yes, received one text. So ma'am is saying yes. Two are saying yes. So most of them we are using it. So three yes. Munali ma'am also is saying yes.
Three is not enough.
Three is
I know
not
how many
enough.
people are.
Exactly.
How many of you are on the call?
There are 68.
So I think each and every one of you, if you can take away just one thing from this session, is go and sign up for ChatGPT or Gemini, like I said, which is Google's LLM. Okay, the world will change for you. Any concept, it is the question answer format. Okay, once you log in into ChatGPT, you can ask ChatGPT any question, right? I can, let me see if I can. Okay, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is my son's GPD account because I'm using his machine. So ignore whatever you are seeing on the left side or whatever. Okay, now give me a question. Any question that, any concept that you as a teacher are finding it a little difficult to understand, or you have had a little tough time explaining to students in easier terms.
Yes. So one from language we should take, maths, these two, or it is open platform.
Yeah, in math,
Anything, maths,
yeah,
English, anything that you felt that it would be nice if you could
yeah.
teach it to your
Okay.
kids
So
in a
I
simple
was
way.
Kanchan,
I was in need of a skit for Maths Day demonstration, Maths Day celebration. So I used ChatGPT, and that time I told that I want a short script for Maths Day celebration. So I got that very nice skit for all my childrens.
Wonderful, wonderful. No,
Kanchan ma'am has texted that what is anomaly algorithm. Monali ma'am, she's saying, why do our eyes get closed when we sneeze? So I think this is a very
okay,
good.
okay, let's ask, right?
Yeah.
Why do our eyes close when we sneeze? So your eyes close when you sneeze because your body doesn't want you to launch them out like tiny startled ping pong balls. This is GPT being funny. Okay, but the actual explanation is, okay, the real reason is that sneezing is a reflexive action caused, controlled by the brainstem. When you sneeze, a powerful burst of air, blah blah blah, the technical term or the biological term, orbicular oculi contract automatically. It's impossible to sneeze and all of that. Now it is given a little bit of a technical answer, right? Do you folks agree? थोड़ा इसको सिंप्लीफाई करना चाहिए. And by the way, this first line is funny, or this thing, because my son has set up his profile where he wants the GPT that he's interacting with to have some humor, and he likes it funny, so it is representing everything in a humorous fashion, which is his style. You can set up your style. So let's say, can you help explain the above to a 5-year old? So what I am typing is called something called as prompt, right? So now the definition is simple, right? If I want to tell it to a 5-year old, your body is like a superhero fighting off the tiny dust and germs. Okay, your body wants to protect you. That's why it is. And you can keep going at this, right? Depending on your audience, who do you want to talk to, how do you want to convey it to them. So imagine the power of that. There was another question, right, Minalini, outside of this thing, some
Yes.
maths.
So how to teach tenses to grade 2 in fun way? This was one of the question. Uh, then one Siley ma'am, she has texted that I use AI to create good night stories.
Yep. I have a friend, I have a colleague of mine who has a, I think, 3 or 4 year old daughter. He does the same thing. He create every day, he and his daughter come and type something which the daughter wants, and they create a story. Now with the advanced chat gpt, he can create pictures also. So and then he reads the story to it. So a lot of people are using it in different ways.
Yes. So what is
Okay.
anomaly algorithm? This was one of the question.
Okay, let's try that, because
We make
explain
animation.
anomaly.
Sorry to interrupt. So there was somebody, I think, just typed that Google also provides that. What is the difference? So you may want to elaborate that, Sachin, that
Yeah,
what is the difference that is.
yeah, sure. I'll take that up. Thanks, Suren. Explain anomaly detection in layman terms with a simple example. So again, like I said, this is called a prompt. What I'm topping. So I'm prompting the system to give the output the way I want it. So the more detailed I am, the more I will get the result I want, right? So look at it. I asked anomaly detection in layman terms with a simple example. So it says anomaly detection is like a superhero spotting weird things in a sea of normal things, right? So now you can tune it has simplified it as much as possible and in humorous terms, because like I said, the profile has been set up to include humor. In real life, detect weird credit card purchases, like someone buying 100 pizzas in the middle of the night. The bank will know, oh boss, something is wrong. Okay. Machines in factories acting strangely, some noise coming or some vibration coming before they break down. Unusual health data, right? Suddenly your heart, if you have an Apple Watch, you would have received notification saying that, hey, you are sitting, but suddenly your heart rate is above 100. That is not good. You have been not active for the last 1 hour, and suddenly why is it? Okay. So, ma'am, hopefully, for the question you asked, and again, you can dumb it down further, you can make it more complicated, you can make it more technical, and all of that. Now, coming back to the question that was asked, Google also does it. What is the difference, right? Uh, I don't know whoever asked that question. Are you talking about Google's Gemini model, or are you talking about the Google search? Is it
Google
search?
search.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a market difference. So at the end of the day, everything is search and this thing on the set of data. But in the case of Chat GPT, if you look at it, the response is customized to what you want and how you want it. So it is generating the text or the picture or the video in the newer versions of GPT as per the prompt you give. In Google search, it lets you pick and choose. So what Google search is just a ranking algorithm, right? What Google search is doing is basically there is a ton of content on the uh, net, right? When you type a search, what Google is doing is basically going and finding the most relevant content, ranking it per some criteria, and showing you the top results page by page. Now Google has also included something similar to chat gpt. If you look at it nowadays, when you search Google, it will give you a text input in very simple terms for the thing that you have searched, and then it will point to all the material or the artifacts, various different websites that are there on the internet. So it's drastically different. Google is basically finding things and pointing you to a bunch of things, and chat gpt has learned from the same things, all of that, and it is able to generate the answer for you. It does not point you to some artifacts for you to figure out which is the best or uh, which applies, right? It is actually doing the work for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So that's the fundamental difference, and that's why we come to this slide, which is what is generative AI. Generative AI is nothing but a type of AI. In this case, how it works is the AI is given vast amounts of data. When I say vast, it's in petabytes, right? Mostly the entire data on the internet, or at least half of the internet and all of that. Then the AI analyzes this data and basically stores it in a format and in a fashion where it can quickly access this data in a matter of milliseconds, nanoseconds, then comprehend it and be able to generate the output. So based on the learned patterns, it learns from this data, right? And it applies it. So cat sat on a mat. So it has an inbuilt intelligence where it says if it's cat sat, it has to be a mat, or it has to be a tree. It has to be something that it can sit on. It cannot suddenly be a hat, right? So that contextualization and all of that, it creates stores so that when you ask it a question, basically what you saw in chat gpt, right? Remember one thing: when I give the prompt, when I ask the AI, it is actually generating word by word. It might have given me a bunch of text, right? It might have given me 10 sentences, but the way it works fundamentally in the background is it generates the first word, then it's for that word generates the next word, then that's how it creates. Similar to how some of us think, and we can now we have various techniques where it is able it is able to think through it, formulate the context and all of that, but those are advanced concepts. Okay, but generative AI is nothing but chat gpt, gemini, and all of that. Okay, why is it creating a buzz? Because basically, imagine a few 2 years back, before ChatGPT was introduced, AI was a very very specific tool that only a certain set of people had. You and I could not access it just like that. Whoever had inbuilt it into some functions, it could. But now it has opened it up for all of us, right? And it's able to achieve human level creativity, performance sooner than what we thought earlier. It can increase your and in this case I mentioned developer, but anybody, right? It can increase your productivity by 20 to 30%. Imagine you are a teacher, you want to write an essay for your kids, or like the ma'am said, उनको एक skit create करना था, बैठे बैठे under seconds that skit was created, right? And similarly there are a lot of applications. We'll go one by one. So it's a very happening technology, and you know uh, it is definitely a game changer because it's enabling us to create new experiences, generate new insights, right? uh, be very creative, much more than what we could. And all of this, I have a sister who is a teacher. I have a wife who has taught for 1 year in a school. So I know that while all the education and this and that, but from a creativity standpoint, when you have to create those crafts and artifacts for some projects and all of that, and in some schools they make the teachers do it for the entire 30 kids hai to 30 kids ke liye teacher baith ke create karegi, right? Some drawing or some this thing. Now you can do it in a matter of seconds, right? At least you have the ideas and all of that, which leads to a productivity improvement. So you know it's a powerful tool. It is going to make your lives very easier the faster you learn to use that tool to your advantage. Which brings us to what role do you feel AI can play in education? I think we had some answers, right? So let's quickly go through, you know, some of the facets that I have listed out, and the list is endless, right? um, One, personalized learning, right? AI can tailor learning experience to a particular student, their needs, the pace, interest, improved efficiency, right? Automating tasks like grading. I know one of the biggest effort taking task is grading papers, right? Will you agree as teachers? 50 बच्चों का, एंड दैट टू मल्टीपल क्लासेस, 200 पेपर करेक्ट करके हर मंथली असेसमेंट के बाद देना होता है. Yes, no, or everybody is happy doing it?
We may not be happy doing it, but when we do
We are
that,
doing
we
it.
correct papers, and at least we get an idea about where the children are. And again, it makes it very personal. For each child, we get an idea what are the concepts the child has understood, hasn't understood, whatever the test was based on. Suppose I based my test on division, I get an idea where the children are going wrong if I'm doing it personally.
Perfect.
Sachin, we have two questions over here. Sorry to interrupt, but I hope we will be able to answer. Can we use AI for art and craft? This is one question. Second is it helpful for Hindi and Marathi?
Yes, yes to both, right? Depends on, again depends on what you want to do. So craft, maybe when you say craft, you can get ideas for craft from this thing, AI. Art is definitely possible. There are models like even ChatGPT now generates pictures and animation and all of that, so you can definitely use it for art. um, Craft is, you can, I mean, there's another advanced thing called as 3D printing in AI, using leveraging AI. That's a little expensive proposition, but you can do craft using 3D printing as well. So, and Hindi, Marathi, or languages, of course, again depending on what you want to do. By the way, there is an AI uh, effort that the government of India has sponsored. I think it's called as Bhasha or Bharat something. I'll find out and probably I can share it with you, where they are creating AI in all languages, Indian languages, right?
Bhashini, I'm not sure if you're referring to Bhashini.
Even I am not sure whether that's the same thing, but I know that they are enabling these large language models to work on Indian languages, right? I'll find out, Suryan, and get back on the exact. I don't remember it at the top of my head.
Yes, and one more question we have. Any specific AI tool that may help the pre-primary children? So, which can be used by the teachers?
Yeah, so a lot of these tools, again, depending on, see, I can't generalize it, but depending on what you want to do.
Yes.
Tools like Khan Academy, and we'll come to other tools also. Uh, and we'll come to that question. But before that, I think the ma'am made a very interesting observation, right? I think what she was alluding to was that today, as a teacher, when I do the grading myself, that gives me insight into each child and their ability to learn and how they are doing, right? I think somewhere she was hinting to the fact that if I don't do that, while it is time consuming and all of that, if I don't do that, how do I understand uh, each child? Is that correct, ma'am? When you, at least that's how I interpreted when you put it.
Yes, you're right. That's what I
Okay.
meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are bang on, right? I think you are a fantastic teacher. Without knowing you, I can say, because you are so concerned about, you're ready to put on a lot of effort just to understand your children better. Your children are lucky to have you. But think about it this way, right? AI is again a tool. You don't need to get away from it, right? Instead of you sitting and grinding and grading 200 papers, the AI will do it for you, and you can, configure the AI to give you exact similar notes on the children what, how, where they have done well, where whatever you were doing it yourself, you can get a report out of it. And then of course it's up to you how to use that report, right? You can take that report, maybe not for 200 children, for the 50 children where you are really worried about, you can go and regrade their papers or look at it in deeper where required, right? But it
Correct.
gives you that time and bandwidth to spend your time where it is absolutely essential, and it will make the most difference. Think of it that way.
Yeah, correct. I think that's a great way of understanding AI. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes, one simple tool I would like to share is Jadui Pitara for pre-primary. That also is in place. So the ma'am who asked this question, so she can explore it.
Yep. And there are so many such tools, right? Again, maybe I'm the wrong person to be giving you advice on this, but go ahead and use chat gpt, go ahead and use the internet. uh, Keep certain things in mind, and we'll come to that, where you have to be careful, but otherwise you can use so many tools to improve the experience for your children and for yourselves, right? uh, Enhanced students engagement is another thing, right? Because the more creative you are, someone said, how can you make it fun? How can you give examples? How can you make it humorous? Whatever keeps your students engaged, right? How can you gamify it, like Duolingo, right? Can you gamify a subject? And AI can help you do that, right? You or I might not be good at it, but if you ask chat gpt saying that, hey, this is the topic I want to teach, can you help me gamify it for 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds, it will give you the exact uh, output. Okay. Again, this is ongoing, right? Practical applications are intelligent tutoring systems like Khan Academy, Coursera, and all that we spoke about. Automated grading. Now grading is one thing, right? We just spoke about it. Language translation tools, right? In some cases you might have kids who basically don't understand the language well. uh, uh, I'm speaking English. I hope most of you are able to understand, but uh, there might be some who are more comfortable in हिंदी में बात करने में, right? क्योंकि बचपन से हिंदी ही सुना है. Some have understood मराठी, तर मराठीमध्ये जास्त येतो, because all of us have a language in which our brains function, right? Typically what happens is, when somebody speaks in any other language, अगर मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगा, those of you who are used to talking in English, you will take my Hindi words, translate it into English, and then get a response in your brains and translate it back into Hindi and talk to me. Same thing happens for English, right? For the folks who are born and brought up speaking Hindi or Marathi, uh, these translation tools can help big time, right? Schedule optimization, data driven insights, we spoke about this, right? Track student progress and performance, identify. See, the most important thing is, using these tools can make your life easier. Again, fundamentally you have to look at it, bandwidth that you gain, how can you apply it to doing a better job, right? You are not going to be, see, there'll always be a need for the human in the loop, right? It's never going to be a scenario where there is no teacher needed. There's a camera and somebody will track attendance and somebody will open a video and all of that. That 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 stuff is shown in movies and all of that. But in real life, I think we are social animals. We like touch, feel, emotion, and all of that, right? So the excellence right lies in creating that experience for your students. As long as you are able to create that for your students, everyone's job is uh, safe. Now,
So, one query, sir.
yeah.
I heard कि एक समय ऐसे आ सकता है कि डॉक्टर्स को रिप्लेस एआई कर सकते हैं। एआई के यूज से एआई वो सर्जरी एंड ऑल कर सकते हैं। कितना सही है ये सर?
ऑलरेडी हो रहा है मैम, ऑलरेडी हो रहा है. देर आर रोबो or I won't call them humanoids, but there's a robotics division of multiple companies where complex surgeries uh, are even done by robots, right? Now again, there is a good and the bad of it. डॉक्टर्स को रिप्लेस नहीं करेंगे. हाँ, हर चीज में ना आप ऐसे ऐसे सोचो, what it will replace is, and maybe I'm putting it wrong, but maybe incompetent doctors will get replaced,
Yeah, right.
incompetent teachers will get replaced,
Correct.
incompetent engineers will get replaced,
Correct, sir. I agree.
right? But as long as you are able to use the same AI, the same tools to add value to your jobs, which the AI cannot do. Finally, at the end of the day, it is people like you and me sitting somewhere who have chosen to study that field and do AI. And like I said, go back and if you go deeper into all of these algorithms and everything that I told you, it's all maths. Some of you might be able to do it better than a lot of people on my team and myself included, because you understand regression better, you understand algebra better, you understand probability better. सी जो मॉडल या एल्गोरिथम हम बोलते हैं, इट इज नथिंग बट अ मैथमेटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ अ रियल वर्ल्ड सिनेरियो, एंड दैट अप्लाइड ऑन डेटा इज एआई. तो what it will definitely help is, it will help us make better, but it will also keep us on the edge, right? We will have to push ourselves to become better than जो commonplace जो भी होता है, right? So again, lesson planning, creating interactive, some of these are again and again repetitive because we discuss this in different forms and fashions. Okay, in the interest of time, I think we have another 15 minutes, right? Less than that. So of course, what to begin with, at least, right? 20% from your students, right? It will reduce, this 15% is a lower side number. I think it will reduce teacher burden by a lot if some of the things, if they can focus. Teachers, what is the core competency, right? The core competency is to teach children. If you can just focus on that, and the entire administrative burden is taken off you, it will make a world of difference, right? And even within that, like I said, if you can get the bandwidth and time to focus a little more on some children versus uh, push some other children to do even better than what they can, it's a new world. Which brings us to the 10% enhanced engagement. These are all short numbers, but I think it can add more value. Again, one of the questions that I had was, what specifically would you like AI to solve for you, right? And we discussed some of this grading and all of that. What else is there? What would you like AI to solve for you? And I'm just asking this question. There are people in the education business like Suren and Milani and all of that. If you give them great ideas, they will probably build out an AI system for you and make your lives easier.
So I think many of the teachers.
Copy checking, sir.
Sorry, what was that?
Yes, Suman ma'am can
For a
ask.
teacher, it could be copy checking, sir.
Yeah, that is there. Proctoring, right? Whether children are copying, right? You're saying.
No.
Then?
Correction of the work.
Correction, grading. Okay.
Yeah, correction.
Okay. Copy checking is basically grading what you're talking about.
Yes.
I think also in the planning stage of the lessons, like you
Lesson
already
plan.
discussed, yes, lesson plan, assignments making.
Right.
all those
automated
things.
creation of lesson plans
Yes.
based on the kids in your class, based on what has
Correct.
been covered, and
Yeah.
all of that, right? Personalized, hyper personalized lesson plans.
Correct. And also not the only the planning part of it, not teaching part of it. How we are going to teach in the class, maybe that AI can help us. Like you just explained to us that we can add humor, we can add skits, we can add whatever we want to make it more motivating for the child to learn. So I think
Right.
that is the stage where we would like AI to help us specifically.
Wonderful. And my request is for all of you to start using chat gpt to begin with, right? It'll make that difference. It'll help you. There are other tools that we
I would like to
about
add in
there's
here.
Khan
Yes.
Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the remark parts. Like after every term, the teacher needs to provide the individualized remark. So that is also one of the tedious job that teachers they need to go through.
Correct.
Yes. So it
Correct.
on the
So
spec.
imagine, ma'am, that throughout the year, somewhere you are capturing the whole what each kid is doing. Somewhere or the other, you are writing down, right? Somewhere you are capturing what happened during this monthly assessment, what happened during this and that. There is AI available out there that is whole year from your multiple notes and all of that, and give out a very summarized output saying that these are the remarks for this kid, keeping in mind everything that has happened through the year that you have made notes on, right? And then it can be brought to you just for a review. You can edit it, make small changes if you feel it has correctly summarized. You can leave it at that, and then it can be published to parents. And it is not even what it takes care of is, remember one thing, right? We all are biased when it sometimes it comes. There's something called as a recency bias, right? So as teachers, some of the times what happens is the student has done certain things throughout the year, but when you are writing the year end remarks, what the kid has done in the most recent month, that stands out in your memory or this thing. And most of the time your remark, it's human nature, right? It might be influenced by that. But if you let AI do that and capture it from right from the beginning of the year and summarize it for you, sometimes it will surprise you that, oh, the kid that for whom you had some not so good opinion actually had done great work at the beginning of the year, but then something fell through in the middle, and now he or she is acting like this, which again gives you insight into find out what changed during the year, which made a good kid go from good to not so good, and vice versa, right? There might be some very good kid, and then when you are, if the AI is summarized and you realize that in the beginning of the year, this kid was very naughty or very this thing, something was not going right, but then it fell into place. So all of these kinds of patterns and insights, right? Imagine how much it can change it for kids and yourselves, right?
Yes, we have one question, very interesting question
Mm-hmm.
regarding the attendance part. So attendance register completion, this is one of the question that AI should do it. And
Yeah, it can
can,
easily.
yes.
All you need is a CCTV camera or a webcam, whatever camera. Okay, there is clear technology out there that can read facial recognition technology, right? Which opens your phones and all of that, or your society doors. The same technology can be applied to check the faces of the children, and then depending on who they see in class, that camera will record who was present and who was absent. In fact, if somebody was sleeping, it borders into a little bit of a privacy. Kids have to be kids, but for attendance, definitely we can use it at the school gates. It's an easy thing to build. So these are some of the courses, the resources available for each one of you. Uh, Go and explore it. I didn't list Chat GPT here. It was a miss from my side, but look at Chat GPT, Gemini, and all of that. And Mrinalini, if you want to touch upon some of the things that Mylan has, maybe that would be a good time now to bring it up, because that's more real for the teachers, right?
Yes, most of the participants today we have in our webinar, they are already using Mylene, but those who are not, for them, I would like to just brief about few things. The attendance part came into picture. Definitely the notebook correction part, it is not currently we are having. So let me take you through the AI powered solutions that Mylene has. So firstly, we have AI driven nudges or the notifications. So the teachers, they receive the they receive reminders about marking attendance or completing other important tasks. Apart from that, we have our AI assessment model that plays a crucial role in identifying learning gaps among the students. So they can analyze the performance data and provide the teachers with actionable insights and helping them address not just at the competency level but also at the cognitive level. Then we are also having classroom interactions made smoother and more impactful. So teachers can easily share their holistic feedback on student development. And then we have the report card generation system, which is more personalized and very accurate. Teachers, they are supposed to only feed in the marks. Apart from that, we have the AI enabled communication tools, so teachers, they can connect with the students and the parents effortlessly. uh, so basically, the for the school leaders such as the principals, so we have AI powered insights. So they can use this inside the classroom to understand the performance, homework submissions, and other notices what are given by the teachers. So this allows all the educators, the teachers, the principals to take the informed decisions. So we are not just using AI to enhance technology, but we are using it to empower teachers and create a meaningful impact in every classroom. So we are trying to shape up the future and make the world easier for the teachers. So this is just a small contribution by Mylene in the education sector by empowering the teachers with a tool which we call as Mylene, and there are other tools that we have created. So with the help of these tools, the teachers, if they are using it, so they can easily call themselves as a 21st century educator. So this is just a small brief information that I have shared. Then we have the 2 3 videos that I ran before this webinar started. So that was just a glimpse. So Sachin, over to you again.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. And for folks who are interested to know more about Mylin and what they bring to the table, please get in touch with Nunalini or Surain to find out more and how they can help. Right. So outside of this, what we discussed, right? I think we covered this question, so I won't spend time on it. And given that we are almost at the top of the hour for the session, uh, where do we see the future of AI? Everywhere, right? But basically, remember that the focus is the middle, the number 2 point, right? Teacher empowerment. AI will empower teachers by automating tasks and providing data driven insights so that they can focus on higher level of skills, right? So it'll unlock new opportunities, it'll personalize learning, uh, it'll make education far more interesting and better. Now what do you need to watch out for? Like I kept telling each one of you, आप सबको मैंने बोला कि जाओ chat gpt use करो, Gemini use करो, there are other tools, find out whether you can use it and do use it. But AI also has some uh, downsides, okay? So whenever somebody entices you with AI, अब आपको बोलता है कि अरे आप AI का ये tool use करो या ये वो use करो, watch out for frauds and scams. Verify, validate from the right with the right people, and only then use it. Otherwise, don't install any apps, whether they are AI apps or whatever. Things like Chat GPT and all of that, they are all validated. They are, enterprise grade software. Use them, but otherwise, be careful on what you install and what you don't. Right? It might promise you that आपका workload कम हो जाएगा, ये कम हो जाएगा, वो कम हो जाएगा, but be careful. It can lead to security breaches, right? So unless it's from a trusted source, do not install on your mobiles or on your laptops. AI can also spread a lot of misinformation, right? So आपने कुछ पूछा चैट जीपीटी को हो या फिर किसी को कुछ भी हो, don't take that information at face value and just go and tell your students that, oh, this is what it is. No, even if it is a standardized this thing at like a chat gpt or a Gemini or a Google or whatever, always fact check, right? Cross check karo with the right information. So आपको अगर समझो चैट जीपीटी ने कुछ बताया, right, कि ये है, तो see, chat gpt is again based on the data it has been fed. So if somebody has fed it incorrect data, it will give an incorrect answer, or it might hallucinate. There is a concept called as hallucination, which I won't bore you with, but bottom line is, take that input, just do a little bit of fact checking by doing a Google search. The ma'am said, what is the difference between ChatGPT and Google? Google search will take you to the exact artifacts, right? So if ChatGPT is saying this has happened, okay, uh, then go ahead and search in Google whether that has really happened. If it has really happened, then Google will show you some artifact or some site where it has actually happened. You can check it out, but don't go by simply because some AI is telling you that this is correct information. And of course, be aware of privacy, right? What you share with AI, what you don't share with AI, how you apply AI, right? Even for attendance checking, it is fine, but imagine if you put AI for monitoring your children in the class, it will take the fun out of schooling, right? Children are meant to be naughty. If you look at some AI and say that you should not do this, you should not do that, you should not act like this and all of that, where's the fun in schools? So be very careful and be very responsible when it comes to how you implement and use AI. Okay. uh, Everyone owes it to society to make it better, not worse, for uh, especially for the kids, right? uh, Leave you with three key takeaways. Okay. Remember, AI enabled teacher will always be better than the not AI enabled teacher. An average teacher who can leverage AI for teaching, right? Be it videos, be it the tools that are available, will be able to show better results than a good teacher who doesn't adopt AI and is struggling with a lot of other activities on her plate. So net she won't get the time to be the good teacher that she is. But a good teacher can become an excellent teacher, and an excellent teacher can become a phenomenal teacher by adopting AI. So don't hesitate to adopt AI. AI doesn't replace teachers, right? It's an assistant. You can give an example, right? When first computers came in, you must have seen, those of you who were around, there was a lot of, halla gulla about how banks may computers will replace, there will be no jobs for bankers, people will lose their jobs and all of that, especially all the public sector banks. They even had a strike and all of that, right? 20-25 years back. But if you look at any bank now, there are more people employed in banks than what were 20-25 years back. Computers still exist, right? But computers have made life easier for them and created more employment. So AI is just going to be like that. It's a teaching assistant, helps you focus on making it more meaningful. Again, third one is AI can make mistakes. Like I said, it isn't perfect, can give incorrect answers, or sometimes the context will be misinterpreted. US teachers need to fact check, especially since you are dealing with kids, and make sure that you are giving them the right message. Don't just trust AI to give the message, and finally the buck stops with all of us humans. That's it from my side. I'm happy to take any questions or कुछ पूछना है आपको या anything. By the way, most of this deck that you saw was created by an AI. Okay, it says here made with Gamma. Gamma.ai is a presentation creator. It creates presentations, videos, documents, and all of that. You guys can try that out also. Go to Gamma.ai and you can give prompts the way I gave it to GPT, and it will create wonderful presentations and other things for you. All right, I'll stop sharing. If there are questions, I'm happy to take it. If not, we can close the call. Any questions? Anything on the chat? Able to see the chat now.
Yes, there is nothing actually. So I think they all are clear. The audience attended, those who have attended this, they all are clear whatever you have explained.
Hopefully.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it has been an insightful session, definitely, with the discussions that we had, the questions in between what the teachers they have asked. So it is going to work alongside the teachers, the educators, to create a more personalized learning. And a special thank you to Sachin Kamath for sharing his expertise on AI and data's role in the education sector. So I'll be sharing the link. I have already shared the feedback link. So please fill in the feedback form so that we can enhance our webinars, improve ourselves more. Okay, and before I put a closure to this, let's just put on your camera so that I can take a group picture. Can we all just put on the cameras?
Hey, thanks a lot, Sachin, for the time that you spent. I'm sure, it would have taken some effort for you to create the presentation, though you made it through Gamma. But providing all the practical examples which teachers can correlate with the day-to-day life. Thank you.
So thank you for the opportunity, and I hope this will inspire some of them to use AI, some of them to go on and create AI. Right? See, remember, it's not beyond you to even create AI. You, each one of you, आपके पास एजुकेशन में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, एजुकेशन कैसे इवन बेहतर हो सकता है, उसका नॉलेज है. So you can easily employ. In fact, you can employ AI to build AI tools that can solve for these problems. Even
Yes,
that is possible in today's world. So
correct.
all the best. And
Yes,
hope.
and at Mylin, we are bridging this gap, the gap between the education and the
Yep.
technology. So by empowering the teachers, the students with the AI-powered tools that we have. So
Kudos to all of you, Mylin and the teachers, because this is a noble profession. All of us are here because somebody took the pains to teach us and make us the way we are.
yes,
So
definitely.
hats off to all the teachers.
Yes. So I'm sharing the feedback link once again. Those who have not got the link. So I will just paste it once again. Yes. And thank you once again, Sachin, for such a wonderful session. Your insights have whatever thoughts you have shared, whatever experiences, and whatever in the complete journey of this webinar, it has been incredible. And thank you, all the educators, those who have made sure that you are part of this AI in education, this webinar. Thank you once again. And we will come back again with more such webinars to empower teachers, and make sure that you are attending these webinars. Thank you once again, and I will be ending this call now.
Thank you. Thanks
Yes.
for the
Thank
opportunity.
you
Thanks everyone for
so
patiently
much.
listening.